Hey everyone, welcome back to the Critical Rogues channel. Just have a quick video for viewer discussion today, something that I've been really interested in kind of tapping into. While I'm putting together videos for the walkthrough for my custom campaign, I thought I'd post a quick video because I'm genuinely curious about how different dungeon masters and players handle player character death in their campaigns, and any players' thoughts on how it's handled for them or how they wish it was handled or how it could be handled. And feel free to comment, speak up, share ideas here amongst yourselves. I'll go over the comments because I'm curious myself and respond in kind. Obviously, this is a topic, character death, that should be talked about and agreed upon in session zero. And if anyone's not familiar with Session Zero, go ahead and Google that. There's tons of great resources out there available to make sure that you have a really good fleshed out Session Zero. Make sure everyone's on the same page as far as meeting times, rules, character death, things like that in your campaign. With a lot of younger players, I've noticed that they're often fine with character death being final and absolute. That gives them an opportunity to try different styles of play, character classes, alignments. But also, I believe personally that it stems from a lot of players and dungeon masters not having had the opportunity to have a campaign that lasts for years and is like an ongoing epic saga. Think Lord of the Rings. So starting a new character to continue on doesn't seem like a really big deal. Not to mention, I'm a video gamer. I remember when Pong was released. I'm old, and I have had the opportunity to watch gaming evolve. And in that genre, it's common to try different characters. It keeps the game fresh and entertaining. Oftentimes, though, the longer a campaign lasts, the deeper the bonds are that are formed between players and their characters, and even the player characters within the game. Sometimes they form relationships, intimacy. They become emotionally involved with each other. And suddenly, player death, permanent player death, does not seem like such a desirable thing. Naturally, there's resurrection spells, other ways to potentially revive your character in Dungeons and Dragons. I myself, over the years, have introduced quests for temples, deals with powerful entities, unforeseen lore related objects or artifacts, and more to increase the opportunity for resurrections. In addition to this, I also encourage comments about how downtime for a player, how dungeon masters handle downtime for a player who's had a temporarily deceased character, so they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs or on their phone or maybe even missing entire sessions. And I want to leave the conversation for that part of this as open as possible for discussion and comments that you might want to make. But I'll start off with two ways that I keep my players involved when their character is down. One is to allow them to roll up a temporary character to play as a mercenary, hireling, another adventurer the group meets up with, or even if they're in a town and city, handle non player character interactions and things like that. It keeps them engaged and oftentimes even gives them an opportunity to sort of oppose their friends at the table. And, if they're handling well, here it goes. Another one of my personal favorites is to hand them some enemy encounter stat sheets and actually let them roll for the enemies, formulate enemy strategy, movement, and more. And while it might seem like that could cause issues in the future because if they encounter certain types of monsters again, they'll be more intimately familiar with that monster's abilities or that NPC's abilities in combat and things, but I'm not really worried about them becoming too familiar with them myself because I homebrew so much. Um, there's so many variations of existing monsters that I use, depending on like their history, the environment extremes, the outside forces that they live around, their physiology, depending on regions that they live in. So just because they have the character sheets for a certain monster while their character is down really doesn't mean that they're going to become super familiar with how to handle that interaction as a player character in the future. For example, a monster that might live for a prolonged period in close proximity to a powerful magical artifact might have magic resistances, things like that. To me, I think any responses or comments that we get to this video, I'm genuinely excited and interested in hearing how you all handle it, the creativity that you use in handling player death and player downtime at the table to keep them engaged in the campaign. And I appreciate you giving your thoughts. on this. I'm definitely looking forward to reading them and getting back with you, and I hope you have a great weekend.